there that because you guys are rational beings, isn't it? Are we all rational? You guys are smart. I'm sure you can think of, okay, what are the variables? Like, what are the variables you put out?
But
I would
I
say.
think you're talking
You
about...
put out one variable. Did you put out like nothing? Did you say nothing caused it?
I said, I think we believe mainly just in, like, the scientific.
Scientific.
But I also don't think that, like, rationale has a lot to do with it. Anyone can believe whatever you want, and if that works for you, then that's perfect.
No, but those beliefs that you have that are determined through rationales,
Yeah.
those make sense, isn't it?
Yeah.
You use your rationale day-to-day basis. So, for instance, if you went back to your house and you saw, say, a plate smashed,
Right.
yeah, you give out some variables, wouldn't you? You would say, okay, maybe maybe you have a pet, a dog, a cat. You may say the pet or the cat or the dogs flipped it over.
Right.
You may say there's an intruder that came in and smashed the plate.
Yeah.
You may say the windows were open, large wind came in and knocked the plate. Or you may say actually there's an earthquake.
Right.
What other variables can there be?
Anything, right?
Okay, so if I say to you a blue, what's the most irrational thing? A blue dragon
Yeah.
came into your house, huge blue dragon, as big as almost that tree, came into your house and knocked that plate.
Yeah.
Would you say that's the most rational, most probable?
Right. You use probability, right?
Yeah, probability. Would you say that's the most probable thing to that caused the plate to? So you would say that's the most irrational, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it was the most improbable.
The most improbable. So what I'm asking you is, in terms of looking at probability and using reasons and rational and faculties, is what would you say is the cause of the universe?
I would say, in terms of probability, we really don't know because we don't know anything.
But science says the universe came to. Science says the universe came to existence at one point, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sort of.
Yeah.
The whole universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, at one point, the universe expanded and became itself, but also there's almost...
Not expanding it. The universe. They say the universe came to existence at one point, and it's expanding it.
Right.
That's the current scientific.
Yeah, but they don't know. Besides that, they don't know anything.
Okay, so who would know then?
There are a million theories.
Would the creator know? If there was a creator, would the creator know how the universe came to existence?
Sure.
That's a basic principle to have, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If there is a creator, the creator would know. What happens if that creator communicates with us?
That would be great.
But that's what theists, in a simple terms, believe in. They believe there's a creator,
Yeah.
yeah,
Who knows about the universe?
who created the universe.
Yeah.
And basic tools, anything begin to exist must have a cause. So we, as a theist, as a Muslim, I'm a Muslim by the way, we believe the universe began to exist at one point,
Yeah.
and the creator created the universe, and the creator is uncreated. He was always there. Because if the creator is created at one point, you will have the problem of infinite regression. You will say, what created the universe? What created the creator, and then we will never have the universe. Make sense?
Yeah.
So at one point in time, the universe came to existence, and how do we know that? Through revelations.
Right.
So we don't believe God is like an absent father, just created the universe and left us alone.
Right.
Yeah? Can you think of God as absent father? Like, it doesn't make any sense, will you? Imagine you guys do you have children by the way? Hopefully one day. Bless you guys. We need good people like yourself. A duplicate of you guys. So what I would say is, imagine you have a parent and we have children, and they don't teach their children on a basic level, no manners, no etiquette whatsoever. On a basic level, you say, what kind of parents is this?
Right.
Yeah, you would think them really bad. Imagine God. Not giving us guidance and not giving us morals to live by. You say, what kind of God is this? Like, caused the universe, created us, but left us with no guidance? It doesn't make any sense, wouldn't it? So we say God is one from an Islamic point of view. God is not a woman, not a man, not a monkey, not an idol, none of this. God is unique.
Yeah.
So the Quran says, for instance, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, say God is one. He's unique, he's absolute. He does not begot and he's not begotten. He doesn't give children and no one has given rise to him. No one has given birth to him.
Yeah.
You see? And he's nothing like وَلَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. He's nothing like the human beings or the creations outside his creation. Does that rationally make sense? Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms, if you're comparing that with like the Judeo-Christian God, then that absolutely makes more sense, because why would there be a patriarchal overlord? That doesn't make any sense. If he's a God of empathy and kindness, then why would he be a man or a woman or a thing, and why not just be an omnipresent presence in the world?
Yeah.
So,
So that is within the Quran actually. Is a small chapter, Quran, called Ikhlas, the certainty chapter, 112. I advise you to check it out. Small chapters are just
Yeah, I've read the Quran before.
You read the Quran?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
It was amazing. I mean, it's beautiful. It's way better written than the Bible.
Okay.
It's beautifully written. It's incredibly. It's sad because it feels impossible to know only speaking English.
Oh, you read it, the translation?
Yeah. And that feels like, you know.
I would say to you, listen to the next step you may take is actually listen to the Quran and recite it, the recitations.
Yes. It's gorgeous.
It speaks to the heart.
Yeah, totally. Way more than just reading English.
But you know why it speaks to the heart?
Why?
We believe the Quran is the word of God,
Right, yeah.
and we also believe Islam is the only belief that has this belief, by the way.
Yeah.
No other belief. I'm going to shock you guys today. Islam believes in something called Fitra.
Yeah.
Fitra is innate disposition. So we believe, like all of us are born, believe in a higher power, the creator, regardless of our ethnic background or so and so. Yeah? We believe inherently we're designed to create, worship the creator. We're born. And we say everything in the universe is actually a Muslim. Like for instance, the tree, the sun, the moon, because they're only following law of nature and they're submitting to God, naturally. Islam means basically submission to God, and the one who does that is called a Muslim, a submitter. If you work, what are you called?
What?
If you work, what are you called?
A servant.
Sorry?
A servant?
No, a worker. They had ER.
Oh, I don't know.
They have the ER rule in English.
Yeah.
If you run, you're called a runner.
Okay.
In Islam, if you believe in Islam, they take out the I and they put MO at the front. Muslim. You're a doer of the action.
Yeah.
So we say Jesus was a Muslim, Noah was a Muslim, David, all of those prophets that revealed revelation and guidance from God, they were basically submitters to God.
Yeah. It is interesting.
What do you think of that, the innate disposition?
I think that shows up in a lot of different religions. It shows up in like American indigenous religion. Everything has an innate spirit within it. And the only difference is that the subjugation doesn't occur in every other religion, right?
No, but you know why Islam is any different to those? What I say to you is your innate disposition goes along with your rationale and goes with your natural inclinations. So for instance, we believe that you were born with this innate position that there has to be all-powerful beings. And an atheist, agnostic, a lot of them when they're in deep trouble or when they're pushed into a corner, they referred back to their innate disposition. They say, oh God, do you see? And actually Oxford University recently done a research amongst children. They went to these countries that the government tells people not to believe in God, like these agnostic or atheist countries like China, Japan. They collected many children from many countries, and they realized that if you don't preach to them no religion whatsoever, all of these children actually grow up to believe in a creator. Without any indoctrination or any of that, they actually believe in there's a higher being. And guess who says that? Only Islam. Hence that's why we have words like reverts. So when someone accepts Islam, we don't say they converted, we say they reverted to their original belief of God. And that's what it is. And that's why Islam is so convincing. So Islam is convincingly, it's like a router and a Wi-Fi, I would say. It connects. What do you guys think? So sorry, I've been speaking a lot. I want to give you guys a chance. What do you think of So far, what you hear, God is one, and He communicated with people. He's not like an absent father. He get through prophets and messengers who came and showed us empirical evidence, rational evidence, and then
I think the best part about Islam is the Quran because it is so
this
beautiful.
guy's shots a lot. Sorry because of the noise.
Scientific evidence in the Quran is really, really cool. And that's my favorite part. You know, when he talks about how pregnancy happens in the Quran, it's like exactly scientifically accurate, and it was written like hundreds of thousands of years before. He talks about, I don't remember the words obviously, but in the Quran it talks about like a little swimmer or something moving towards something else, and that's exactly what happens when the sperm goes towards the egg.
But this is
And
the
that's
knowledge
insane.
that were not known to us in 7th century. So
No, I know, it's crazy. That's that. When I first read that was the coolest thing ever. I mean, and there's so much more. And the Bible is mainly metaphor, I'd say, which is really beautiful as well. And the Torah is also metaphor. And the Quran has this scientific history that seems magical for sure.
the Quran has something more unique than that.
Yeah.
I'll say to you guys, I'm not sure if you read the challenge of the falsification challenge. The Quran says it puts out a criteria and a challenge one can take and do to know whether it's actually from God or not. And human beings were naturally like to be challenged. If I ask you today who's the fastest out between me and you, we're both going to say, you're going to say, oh, I'm faster than you, I'm going to say I'm faster. What's the best way of settling it? Running. So a falsification test will be to have a race. And that test, the test to find out who's the fastest. So the Quran gives you a test, a falsification test that you can do to find out whether it's from God or not. This challenge was actually given to the Arabs first. God said to them, come out a chapter like the Quran. 10 chapters they couldn't come up with. God reduced the challenge all the way to one. Just come out with one chapter equivalent to the Quran. Miraculous as the Quran, poetical as the Quran. Because the Arabs at the time of Muhammad, they were the masters of poetry at that time. And the Quran is very smoothly, quite poetic. So they couldn't come up with a challenge. But then you would say, I'm not an Arab person. This is a challenge for only this ethnic group. God said, okay, a challenge for all human beings. Allah says in the Quran, if this book is other than anyone else, other than God, it will contain discrepancies and mistakes and contradictions. And it's challenging all human beings of what ethnic background they are. And God is also saying, do not do this challenge by yourself. Go and get your helpers and your witnesses. So the Quran is open for the whole universe to come together collectively. All these intellectual individuals to come together collectively and meet the challenge. Just find one single contradiction. That's quite unique. There's no book in the universe, guys, I'm telling you that says this is a true book. It does not contain any mistakes whatsoever. And as you said, it has all these scientific discoveries that modern day science didn't know, that we only discovered today. We say it's because of divine revelation. Muhammad was illiterate, he couldn't read or write. He would not know how the universe and the sun circulates the universe, the sun and the moon. He would not know mountains have a deeper root. This is mentioned in the Quran. Now we know the mountains have a deeper root. He didn't know about embryology and so on. These are all science discoveries that we discovered later on. So he would not have known all of these things. So what do you think about Prophet Muhammad? Do you think he's a true prophet?
I mean, I think.
Have you read anything, the biography of Prophet Muhammad, or do you know?
Yeah, I'm sure in college I did. And I took Islamic literature and I took comparative literature and religion. But I think you have to, that's a faith, it's a question of faith, you know? That's not
No, but the arguments I've given you is Islam has a robust argument on every aspect of life. We believe there is a purpose of life. And Islam says, look, the purpose of life, this world is a test. We're here for a short while.
I mean, okay,
Get to know your creator, like an objective.
What you would have to think about, because I don't think anyone's a prophet, but I think Muhammad is amazing and did an amazing thing, and everything he did should be worshipped prophet. I don't think anyone was a prophet.
But that's the second. I would say that's the secondary steps. First, for you guys, is you have to come to a certain faith, a certain belief, where the Creator exists. Would you say you come to that realization there has to be an all-powerful entity that caused the universe? Let's deal with that first.
No, I don't.
What about you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so either. I grew up Christian, but my belief.
This is what Christianity does to you, anyway.
But
Not all Christians are like him, but I think he's not.
Like
Okay.
who?
Yeah. Like this gentleman.
Yeah.
He just comes and says all these insulting things, and that is not.
I'm not even.
But he claims to be Christian.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What?
He said something bad.
No, he just comes. I don't think he's. He just comes and insults. He yells over. But yeah, what were you saying? Sorry.
No, but my understanding of that, and I don't believe in something bigger or one, but I do believe in teachings that talk about how people treat other people.
Yeah.
And so, for me, I think there's something beautiful between people.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think there's something, a creator that creates things.
And
I
there's
think
more
that,
in those writings. Like there's,
definitely. I think
You
those
mentioned
things are
there's
really beautiful.
you said there's something beautiful about people. That's what we believe the Fitra is. The Fitra is that you've been given the basic tools like justice. You don't need to be educated to know it's wrong to marry your mother or your father. It's innately. So we are given innate inheritance of basic morals and basic tools to recognize that Creator. Yeah?
Right.
And all of these things are given to us. But what I'm saying to you is, once you have a scripture with you, then you'll have that certainty. So what you guys have is you have that basic tools at the moment. You just need to obviously explore, as you explored a little bit. Yeah? Look into the Islamic teachings and say, okay, I'm conscious. And the Quran talks about consciousness and creations, and these two connect. And as I said to you, rationally, because you guys are a rational person, Islam is the only convincing ideology out there for you guys. I'll say standard, because I tell you what, when you have, say for instance, when you come to the realization, okay, something bigger than the universe caused the universe, and you're having a faith system that tells you that the cause of the universe is a territorial God that sleeps and he regrets and regret, like that Judaism, and he regrets and he chose a special beings and special ethnic groups. You say, oh, I don't believe the cause of the universe is racist. Why would, if this created this magnificent universe, why did he solely just use a specific group? Yeah. Islam doesn't preach that. So, do you see, when you have a being...
The point is, right, is that Islam is, I agree, I think is the most convincing ideology, too, the most all-encompassing, and the most sort of generally spiritual ideology.
Then what's stopping you guys?
Because it's a question of faith. It's a question of
no, but then,
like,
do you believe something can be true
I've said that
with reasons?
with
reasons. Islam gives you the reasons.
Yeah, totally.
And actually, everything in this universe, by the way, and this world, is to do with reasons and belief. For instance, I haven't done a DNA test for my father, whether he's my father or not. But I certainly, with certainty, believe that he's my father with good reasons.
Right.
All right? Do you see? Same as you.
Right.
Do you accept your father being your father?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But have you done a DNA test?
No.
So do you see? So certain things can be true with good reason, but then you would say, I don't need a DNA test. I would say I don't need a DNA test for my father being my father because I have strong reasons. And then what I can do is I can present those reasons to you, and then you can either shoot them down and challenge it. So if you bring say to me, Noah, your father is not your father because he's your uncle, and we have a family testimony, we have your mother's testifying to it, we have witnesses and so on, and the character that you think of your father is not actually your father but he's your uncle, and all of these things, and you bring strong reasons to refute my belief, then what would my belief become? Delusional, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What happens if I continue believing that guy that is still my father? You look at me and say, that's a delusional. You know what? And this is where Islam actually is. So we believe God exists and God brings these reasons and beliefs that are stronger than sometimes empirical evidence. So there are proof out there, yeah, that is a lot more stronger than empirical evidence. So what proof would you guys accept, I would say? What would solely convince you guys there's a creator?
I wouldn't need anything else to convince me. There would be nothing else I would need to convince me. That's how I feel. It's just a question of whether or not you want to be within a religious institution in the first place.
What would you say that will be a strong argument to say, okay, that is convincing?
I don't know what it would be.
You mentioned science before.
Sure, yeah, but
So what, empirical evidence?
yeah, empirical evidence would be one thing. I think maybe
What about deductive arguments like eliminating all the impossibles?
Actually, you would need more scientific, you would need scientific.
no. I'm trying to think of other things too. I think yes, scientific evidence, but also
Because what
I don't
what
know
science
enough
is?
about the Quran
Yeah.
and Islam to know more about what the one is, and so what the kind of promises that are part of that.
Okay.
With Christianity, I only know
Christianity.
much more, and so for me, the proof of a creator
Yeah.
comes from seeing some of those writings and teachings made real in the world. Or more.
So like, and you saying if the revelation correlates with modern history? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's like we have in the New Testament. There is, and I understand there's a difference, but in the New Testament, it's about a God who is.
My friend, you're blocking the camera, respectfully.
There's a God who is loving and caring, and yet we still have like unnecessary violence or death or sickness or that kind of thing. And so, if that were to change, then I would.
But one may say,
I see what you're saying. It is different in the Quran.
Yeah, and I would have to read more about it.
we'll give you a copy of the Quran, by the way. That's not a problem. I'll advise you guys. At least I've given you a little spark of why you should read the
Well, it's
Quran.
good to talk.
Yeah,
For sure.
good to
It's
talk.
really interesting to hear.
I'll give you guys one argument the Quran makes about what could cause the universe.
Okay.
And actually, the Quran wants you to open your mind to reflect and look at the universe, because we believe the universe is an effect of God. You know how they prove gravity? They prove gravity because of the effect. Scientists can't see gravity. What color is gravity? What shape is it? Right? But because an item dropped, they say that's what dropped this item, is gravity. But they wouldn't be able to pinpoint the shape of gravity or the color of it or the size of it and all of these things. It's because of the effect. Theists have the same.
Certain things.
Theists have the same belief. Religious people say, because the effect of God is this universe. So therefore God exists, and also with revelation.
Yeah.
We have the cause of the universe communicating with us. And then
That's like a straw man fallacy, though. That you have these things, so you make up reasons for this thing.
no, it's not a fallacy. I wouldn't say fallacy. It's not a fallacy of argument. It's an argument of everything. Really. Islam provides all those arguments, but I'll give you the argument that the Quran provides. So the Quran gives you the variables. It says, was the universe created from nothing? Or did they create themselves?
Show me one person in history.
Did they create the heavens and the earth?
Show me.
Certainly, those that believe that these things can exist
Written by
have no firm belief. So the Quran asks you the first challenge.
what we have seen.
Did you come from nothing? Did the universe come from nothing? What is nothing?
That's a good
What?
question. That's always a good question.
Nothing is the absence of something. Nothing. Nothing doesn't have. Nothing is basically doesn't have nothing whatsoever. Nothing can't make something. You guys are something. The universe is something. So therefore, the idea of entertaining the universe and us can come from nothing is the most the most irrational idea. It's the most delusional idea. Do you see? And it does not make any sense. So you throw that away. Is that? Can we dismiss that?
That the universe did not come from nothing.
Like the universe as
And you as well.
the
You can't come
time
from
itself
nothing.
is improbable. Like the entire existence of the universe is an impossibility. So the fact that it exists itself makes it possible. Which
No, we'll go into the next step of did you create yourself or did you create yourself? Did they create themselves? We'll come to that. That's the next step. But first one is like nothing is absence of everything. Yeah, it's the absence of everything. So it doesn't contain nothing whatsoever. So nothing can't cause something. You have to have always something.
clearly it did.
No, but scientists they disagree with that.
Yeah, I think that there was something.
There was something, and we say that something was always God.
Yeah.
So you're almost close. You're close to it. So using our rationale, it's only logical to say there was always something. Nothing can't cause something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm cold.
yeah.
But it's
So
good to talk to you.
second one, I'll leave on this one. Allah says in the Quran, did they create themselves? If you exist, the existence come from either non-created. If you're non-created, you need someone to bring you to existence. And if you exist, you can't create yourself. So it's illogical as well. Makes it, it's a paradox. One of our scholars says this actually. He says if you exist, then you exist. And if you're non-existent, you need someone to bring you into existence. So we can't create ourselves.
Well,
Did we create the heaven and the earth? That's the next.
Yeah.
you can make yourself exist. Organisms can. Make like humans can. Organisms absolutely can.
What, from non-existence?
Yeah.
You can't. If you have to exist. If you exist, it's why I already exist. I can't make myself. Do you see?
Yeah.
So it's a paradox.
Yeah. That is.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And then finally,
Yeah.
rationality says we have to come to exist, and then something has to cause us, and that something has to be conscious. Would you agree? Why not?
Because scientifically, you can make things exist that are unconscious, make something conscious.
I always put out a bag. You got a nice bag. If I say to you, your bag is made of three things, three possible variables. A woman knows how to make a bag with a PhD,
Yeah.
or a rock. That's another variable. Or a baby, a toddler, 2-year-old
Wait,
toddler.
say that again?
Three.
Wait, what?
We point at variables.
Yeah.
Your nice designed bag is made out of, and the possible people that can make your bag are either a woman with a PhD knows how to make a bag
Yeah.
and has the power. She's not paralyzed. She has the knowledge, the capability to sew, to put all the materials together and so on, and she's conscious. And then you have a baby. Baby can do something. 2-year-old toddler can move around, can maybe say words and stuff like that, possibly. But he is conscious. He's self-aware of.
Okay.
And a rock.
So it's like two. Yeah.
A rock. Can we do a logical deduction? Eliminate all the impossibles. Can we do Sherlock Holmes? Like if you eliminate all the impossibles, whatever is left of it, however improbable it is, it has to be the truth. I love that saying. And Islam is actually defined like that because, as I said to you, as believers, God has given us the intellect. God tells us to use our intellect. So Islam is not against using deductive argument or yeah. So what would you say? Can we eliminate the rock?
Yep. Definitely.
Why?
Because I don't think a rock exists very well.
Is rock a conscious though?
No, I don't think so.
Can a rock decide, okay, this part of the bag, I'm gonna make it tomorrow? It can't, it doesn't have any will. Rock doesn't even know. A rock is actually a matter. So the universe And matter cannot cause the universe. Really and truly, when you look at it, something as rock has some energy, I agree with it, but it's not conscious, it lacks all those essential attributes to cause the universe. And matter lacks all those essential attributes to cause the universe. A baby, let's look at baby. Baby can do certain things, but can't cause that complex bag. But with the woman with the PhD, I'm just beating the variables. You guys should be doing this, but I thought just...
Yeah, I think that there are things, though, that can be created that are as complex as a bag, but don't necessarily need something conscious. Like chemical reactions can happen, and I don't think potassium is conscious, and I don't think water is conscious, and yet when they come together there's an explosion and something is created and there's new compounds.
And carbon plus H2O plus nitrogen equals life, period. So, and those things aren't technically conscious. Maybe you could say that they are, but that's what I was saying with the organism.
No, but the point I'm trying to make is something as complex as us, who's not...
has holes in the argument, though. That's the point. The point that you're trying to make has holes in it. So, like, I get what you're saying.
But I'm saying something as small as our coat, our bags, our socks. My socks are designing as a designer, and if the socks can have a purpose, why shouldn't we have a greater purpose? Who's a lot more complex, you or your bag? I would say you. So if we can come to a rational basis of, the bag has to be designed and it has to have a purpose, then I'll say human beings should have a greater purpose.
Yeah, but there's like 3 different existential questions that you already posed within that statement, because whether or not someone has a purpose is its own opinion. I don't agree.
Would you say that we have an objective purpose? We don't have an objective purpose.
No.
But how can everything we have, respectfully, like my bag, my socks, my coat, and same thing as you as well, they can have an objective purpose, but we don't have an objective purpose. To me, that's irrational, honestly.
Sure, I mean but that's great. I mean, I think it's great that people don't see the world all the same way though as well. Like, I'm glad that
I say you have an objective purpose. I say all human beings.
Great. That's great that you think that. I just don't think I think it's amazing that people go around the world thinking that there's a purpose, because I'm sure you're a lot happier than I am. You know what I mean?
No, I want you to be happy as well. And this is a so pleasant discussion, honestly. The reason why we say human beings have to have an objective purpose, that objective purpose, guys, if I say to you the objective purpose of human beings is to make money or to make babies, you say to me, get lost. My objective purpose is this, and then we will never agree. And it will always be subjective purpose. What we say is the objective purpose of human beings can only come from that creator that created all of us. Would you agree at least that? If there is a creator, that objective purpose comes from, it's only befitting that purpose comes from that creator. Would you at least agree to that?
Yeah.
If there's a creator, it has to come from us.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is, take step by steps, entertain that idea. There has to be a objective purpose to human beings, and it's because we have these morals, we have these tools, and as I said to you, matter couldn't make us. Something as complex as us. Matter is just a rock. Something that is not conscious, but hear me out. Well, you said it there and then. You said something as a rock who's unconscious, doesn't have the knowledge, but God has all of these.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say, but it's only logical to say that, though. Let's be honest. To say someone who's conscious, and then we say these attributes are mentioned in the Quran. So God says He's all powerful, He's all knowing, He's all hearing, and He's conscious. He decided when to bring us into being. And another thing I would give it to you guys is, we actually, when God created us with the Fitra, we all pledged to believe in God. But then when we put into this universe, is our parents and society that indoctrinate us and social upbringing and so on, we lose faith. And so I would say that's why Islam actually says and revert and not convert. So just by all means look into Islam, look into the life of...
I think it's a better book for sure.
I think you're very close to Islam.
I think it's a much better much more open-minded religion.
Do you know the most reverting people in America?
Crazy, it's racist and sexist and terrible. I mean, you know, it's very closed-minded.
On an average in the UK, 7,000 to 8,000 people. I'm sure in America they've done some research as well. The number of Americans that revert, and it's certainly the largest growing religion. And it's not because of emotional reasons. We don't feed all these people rice and curry and emotionally. It's because of intellectual reasons. Islam gives you intellectually convincing argument as well as emotionally. So Islam is satisfying to your mind as well as your heart.
Yeah,
So,
I'll show you that there's like a bunch of, I'll show you the parts that I'm talking about the pregnancy. I think
You have.
before.
Yeah.
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 do you know, there's a small book of a doctor, I forgot his name. He was actually a French scientist. He is a French scientist, I'll say. He was working in France, and they brought the body of Mummy Pharaoh, the great Mummy Pharaoh. I forgot one of the pharaohs, that his body's preserved.
Right.
And it was the pharaoh at the time of Egypt, at the time of Moses.
Okay.
This pharaoh is mentioned in the Quran, and Allah says, and it's the only body that is actually preserved in the world. His body is preserved. Well, I'm not. That's me. You can literally. This body is actually turned around and not fully preserved, but you can see I'm not sure. I've seen some pictures of it.
Yeah.
But the story is mentioned in the Quran, and they brought this doctor. He searched the body and he done some research on it, and he said this man died of drowning salt, sea salt. And they said to him, he was Christian at the time. His Christian friends and scientists said to him, don't disclose this information to the rest of the world and to the Muslims, and because they believe he was died of sea salt and his body's.
So cool. No, I love that.
Yeah,
That's very
and no, I'm just giving you a little bit of
I
how.
love that.
Yeah, and guess what?
That's insane. Like, that's totally.
They said to him, do not this scientific research, don't publish it out. So he went to Syria at time of peace, and he studied the Quran. So what he said is, every time I look at a verse, and if it has any scientific miracles in it, I'll conduct the research.
Yeah.
So he concluded, this doctor, scientist concluded 80% of the Quran, and it's scientifically proven. Scientifically proven, and 20% is ambiguous. Do you know the 20%? No, the 20% is like dreams, things that you cannot put on into a scientific lab.
But there are also ones that could happen in the future, which is
That could happen.
My point is, like, they're things that are complicated. They're poems that have some sort of scientific basis at this moment, but we're not fully sure.
Yeah.
And there's one poem that might be about AI, which is really cool. So, anyway.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time. Bless you.
Can I get a Quran or no?
I'll get it. I'll get a copy for you. Okay, just Ali Dawah has a copy. Can you get? So, do you guys come here often in London or?
I live here.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
You get the full in England. You get the full season in one day.
I'm good. I just need to move a little
What was the weather in like New York? My friend is getting it.
It's still cold.
Still cold.
It's cold there too, but I just didn't wear enough today.
It's not going to be big next time, so I'm not going to be
Another good thing you guys can look into is the biography of Prophet Muhammad.
What was that?
The biography of Prophet
yeah.
Muhammad. Look into it. Look it into like. He's literally getting it.
Cool. Yeah, I read it maybe 6 years ago or something. Parts of the Quran.
I read it.
Listen to it.
Quran chapter 65.
4 years for me.
I would say is because you brought a lot of scientific argument. This is a mistake a lot of people actually make. Science is actually cannot prove God or disprove God. So science actually is the.
I don't want that. I don't want that one. I just want the book.
You just want the. Can you get another copy for him? Okay.
No, we'll share this one. We're in the same
We
place.
live together.
You'll have your own copy. This is a good one. The message of last messenger, Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah.
There was an American writer.
Yeah.
I believe he's American, who wrote the book of the most influential man, the most 100 ranking.
Yeah, all right.
8-year-old.
Perfect.
This guy done a book on the most influential man on the face of the earth, who ever lived.
Yeah.
And guess who's the top of the list?
Muhammad.
Muhammad. You know why? So what he did is actually, no, they done it objective criteria.
I bet it was William.
No, seriously.
No, I don't. Neither was Jesus.
And he said,
Jesus wasn't Christian.
I love to put Jesus at number one, but he said because we him and his fellow writers,
Yeah.
yes, they put out objective criteria, every aspect of life, a husband, a father, a military man, a statesman, a neighbor. They said we looked at these men in every aspect of life, and Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, fits that criteria. So
That makes sense.
that makes sense. So Muhammad was, we believe he was a prophet of God, and he came with this message. So by all means, look into his life.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. Hello, Rina. How are you? Alhamdulillah.
From which university? Under which journal? Academic journal? Which academic publication? Says Hitler's views were motivated by his religious ideology. Helping Mr. Wang is not going to help.
Where are those brothers? Mansoor.
No. Let us talk.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Today you are hero.